Welcome to Fun is Fundamental. Fun is Fundamental is a podcast for those who realize that the enjoyment of life is about having something deep in our souls which lights our fire. It's for those who maybe have lost that fire and feel like they are missing out on the pleasures of life. In each episode, I will share recent fun activities and focus on why having fun is essential for good health. I'm your host, Alenia, and I invite you to take this journey with me and join the pleasure-seeking movement. Good morning, Judith. How are you doing today?
Oh, good morning. I'm great and so happy to be here with you.
Me too. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. I'm sorry that we couldn't do this when it was scheduled. We have internet problems, but here we are after the weekend, and it's sunny here. I hope it's sunny there.
It is sunny. Yeah, it's been a nice start to summer so far, so I'm glad. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I guess first off, how did you get interested in like self-love and kind of get what's your journey to self-love?
Well, my journey started by trying to figure out what was happening in my life, and I think that the universe put me in this track. I always have been a student of love. Since I was a kid, I was interested in knowing what was this thing that everybody talks about, and it's called love, because I couldn't really connect with it and feel it. And I think it's because the love really starts within yourself, and then you can share it with others. It's not this conditional thing that we all have learned, no? That I love you and you love me, and then we have something special going between us. And there was a moment in my life where things were not working at the level I wanted. I mean, I had a wonderful job that I didn't like. I have the house, the husband, the money, but my relationship with my husband was not working. And you can just ignore things, but until a point. There is a moment where there are consequences of not paying attention to yourself and your needs and not taking care of yourself. And I didn't know. I mean, I hope that when I was having all this trouble, there was something like me now that is teaching a workshop on self-love, like fall in love with yourself, that can give me the foundation at least. We really don't learn this in a school. There is a moment where your soul starts complaining, or you get an illness, or life stops you for whatever reason, and you have to figure out things. And this is what happened to me. And I started studying everything I could. I was interested in astrology as a way of, understand myself. And I did Reiki, and I did a master in psychology and psychotherapy. That was not my career. I never imagined that I will end up in the United States doing what I do right now. But again, I think that life have plans while we live our lives and take us where we have to be. And then I think that self-love is something that we all need a little bit more of. And that maybe we don't say it with this word. We say, oh, I need more self-confidence, or I don't feel worthy, or I cannot find my voice, or I'm not having fun, or I don't feel fulfilled, or I'm too critical with myself. Self-love is a super big concept that includes so many things, and we all have our own difficulties in this big area. And this is what happened to me. I had to finally focus on what was not working. And in my case was that I was very analytical, and I was my worst enemy. I used my mind not to support myself. I was not the boss of this mind. I was the servant. And this was not nice. It was reminding me everything that was not working, and obsessing about the things that were not the way I wanted. And yeah, I tend to attract a lot of clients that are the same way. And I think that in a bigger or small degree, we all tend to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We usually do attract the people that are like us, for sure, you know.
No, I was saying we all have this inner critic. We all have this voice inside of our mind that don't bring inner peace.
Definitely. How long have you been working with clients to help them with their journeys to self-love?
I moved to the US at the end of 2010. In 2011, I became a certified professional coach, and I have been coaching people since that moment. But the funny thing is what brought me to the US was not only to become a certified coach, was to find my soulmate, thing that I did. And I started my career helping people to find true love, to find their soulmates. And when I created my first workshop, How to Find Your Soulmate, I soon realized that one of the biggest issues that people had in order to find love was that they didn't love themselves. And it was not my plan to really focus on self-love, but eventually the business gravitated toward this area more. And again, the clients were showing up and they were having issues in this realm. And I end up doing this more than other things. I have other tools on top of coaching. I do past life regression therapy. I don't do readings right now in astrology, but I'm an astrologer, and I also teach and I do consultations on the Akashic records. Then it doesn't matter how people come to me. The idea is that they arrive with certain issues in order to improve the relationship that they have with themselves.
Yeah.
And I will say like 10 years right now, more or less, 12, 11.
Yeah. That's a good amount of time. What does it mean for someone to love themselves?
If we make it pretty simple, it's to become your best friend. As I was saying, we tend to be our own enemy. We sabotage our efforts to change. We are critical. We judge ourselves. We don't do the things that are best for us. We tend to self-sacrifice. Then it depends what happened in your life that we choose one or the other. But loving yourself is this idea that you have to be there to support yourself, that your first responsibility is with you. And the love starts within yourself. And then you can share it with others. You cannot share what you don't have. And putting yourself first, it's not this selfish concept that we understand that, oh, I'm only taking care of myself. Not at all. It's more this idea that the happier you are, the more fulfilled you are, the more energy you have, the more love you have, the more you have to share. And as I mentioned before, it's a big concept. The self-love idea is not just the self-esteem, like I like myself because I have certain qualities and talents. That's not a reason to love yourself. Loving yourself should be like unconditional. It's this idea that you are going to be there for yourself no matter what, when things go right and when you're a mess. When the things are working for you, on where you are in the middle of difficulties, especially when you are in the middle of difficulties, is when you really need all your support, your compassion, your kindness, your understanding. It means to treat yourself in a different way. And we tend to be very nice with others and a lot of understanding and compassion. Oh, yeah, I understand what you are going through. And we cannot apply the same to us. Then no matter what is the idea, loving yourself means to have fun in life, to express who you are, to shine with your own light, to appreciate yourself, to be grateful for what you have, to stop judging the things that are not going right in your life and yourself, not to compare with others, to learn how to set up boundaries, to stop self-sacrificing. Then I don't know, it's a lot, it seems, but I tend to recommend my clients, like, start with the concept that seems more difficult for you. Let's focus just in one thing. And then when you are feeling that you have this more or less under control, let's move to the next thing. Don't try to do everything at the same time, because it's going to be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you talk about like all the aspects that are part of self-love, it does like just like when you look at the whole big picture, it does seem like it's like overwhelming and like how could anyone fix this? But yeah, if you break it down.
Yeah, self-love is a life process. It's not something that you listen to this podcast and tomorrow it's resolved. No, it requires commitment. And that's the only thing. You can learn to love yourself. Maybe we are not born with this idea inside of ourselves. We don't have it in the back, but certainly you can just put the baby steps to start the process right here, right now, after you listen to this.
Yeah. What do you think are the biggest like roadblocks? Like what's the thing that like kind of gets people off course from loving themselves in the first place, do you think?
Well, certainly some wounds that we accumulate from childhood, from age 0 to 7, we don't have any filter. And everything that any authority figure says, it's true for us. Then we receive messages like, oh, I'm not going to love yourself. You're a bad girl. Or you should behave, because if you don't behave, I'm not going to be with you. I'm not going to like you. Or I don't like you because you are doing this or that. Then one of the most important needs that we have as human beings is to belong, really, to feel loved. And if you see a child like a baby, it feels like the center of the universe. It's not trying to compare with other babies. It's not seeing life from a perspective of, do I deserve these parents? No, it feels entitled to see, here I am, I love me the way I am. Then in certain time, we start losing this. And we start thinking that this idea of love is something that you have to earn. If you really want to be loved, you have to behave in a certain way, you have to look in a certain way, you have to do things the way adults say or others think that are the best. And we get this idea of this conditional love. Like if I do something they like, they are going to like me, they're going to love me, I'm going to get rewarded in a certain way. And that's problematic, because then we tend to think that love is something that happens because of others. But we lose this idea that love is something that we create inside of ourselves. Love is a state of being. It's not something that happens when someone else really loves me, and then I feel the recognition, I feel the love, and it awakens the love within myself. And with time, we continue establishing relationships, friends and boyfriends and girlfriends, and maybe we get married and all of this, but we carry the wounds. And almost all of us, we don't have the perfect parents. They try to do their best with the tools they have, whatever they have learned. But we don't have these perfect conscious parents that they know how to empower ourselves and give ourselves room to grow and all of this. It's kind of complicated to be a parent. Yeah. And what happens is that we tend to forget that we have the right to love ourselves. We are there to feed, to love others, to do what is expected from us. We become responsible adults and all of this. And we forget the idea that love is what we had when we were a baby. Like, I am the center and I am loved just because I exist. We forget our self-worth. We have to prove that we are worthy of love all the time. And that's the reason that we get on track. Whenever it is, when you were a child, because you were in a dysfunctional family, because you had problems, because you had a bad divorce, because you cannot forgive yourself for things that happen in your life, because you have this loud voice in your mind saying that you don't deserve any love. There are many, 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 many different reasons. And I cannot list all of them right here. But it doesn't matter what's the reason. What matters is that you can come back to this path of, let me start loving myself a little bit more today. Just a little bit more today.
Yeah. What are some like tools that you work with your clients? What are like affirmations, or like, I'm just wondering, like, if there's, what are like the ways that you kind of help them along their path?
Yeah, the process is really individual, because again, it all depends on what is the area of self-love that you are lacking. No, it's not the same to learn how to forgive yourself that to turn down the inner critic. But let's say that one of the things that I really invite people is during 1 week, just write everything you think about yourself, because you cannot heal what you don't know that is happening. Mm-hmm. Then it's very important to be aware. A lot of people that arrive to me, they say, yeah, but I think I have a good relationship with myself. And after doing this, you can just take your phone and keep writing all the thoughts that come to your mind. They realize that they don't treat themselves well, that they are mean with themselves, that they are not kind, that they speak to themselves in a way when they make a mistake, when things are not working the way they want. And this can happen 10 times in a day. Like, oh, I'm late. Oh, you're stupid. You had to leave earlier. Or someone called them attention. Oh, should have known this before. Or when they feel that they are not at the level they want, then journaling this is important to just realize the way you treat yourself and to start adding more positive messages into that. You can take your mind to the gym, the same way you go with your body and you train yourself to get a different body. You can do the same with your mind. Then to understand that you can cultivate the thoughts that are more loving, that you don't have to be listened to this record of the past that tells you that you are not good enough. Another way of working with yourself is to start building a sense of appreciation. We tend to get validation from outside of ourselves. We don't celebrate our little wins, the things that happen during the day that are important for us. We take it for granted. We think that, oh, it's what I should be doing. But when you start thinking about not only for what you do right, for who you are, how important you are, how unique you are, how your contribution to the world is, this changes your life. Just seeing yourself through the eyes of love. Like, maybe a lot of people really see you and they don't have to put you in a pedestal, but they really see how beautiful you are inside, and you ignore it. Then being grateful for who you are, for the life that you have, for all the things that are put on your path, makes you recognize that you can connect with love. Love for a lot of people is this concept that it's far away. No, it exists if someone brings it to my life. But the more you focus on the love that you are, the more love you tend to attract into your life. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It's like people that are kinder come into your life, and you get more appreciation as well, and you get a different sense of how people treat you and how they see you, and your environment changes and all of this. Then I would say that the secret of the success is to know that love is around you, that love is inside you, that love is within you, and it never leaves you. You might feel disconnected from it, but it's always there waiting for you to connect again. It's like you plug the lamp again, you turn off the light, and it shines. Then that happens the same with you. You just have forgotten that you have to plug it in.
What are overall, the benefits that come when someone starts to love themselves more?
Oh, a lot, because love is the most powerful energy that exists in the universe. Love is the highest vibration that you can have. Then when you really are able to sustain this energy of love within yourself, not to just wait until it's awakened, just have it within yourself, you attract different things, because energy attracts like energy. Then we were saying that before about the clients, no? Then the more in love you are with yourself and your life, the more you connect with the health, with abundance, with better relationships, with opportunities, with synchronicities, with feeling one with everything that is around you. And that's important because you start seeing life from a different perspective. I was doing a session the other day with a client, and she was asking me, she was in treatment, she had some issues with health, And she was asking, like, I'm going to get better. And we end up talking about that health is a concept that starts from within. Like, do you want to get better? Do you feel like getting better? Are you putting everything you can to get better? The more you love yourself, the better you treat yourself. Water you drink, the food that you eat, the doctors that you visit, the solutions that you look for it, then we tend to avoid responsibility. Like, if my life working is about something else happening. No, it's about me and my decisions. It's about what I want. And the same happens in terms of work. Like, maybe I am in a job that I hate, and I feel like not validated and not appreciated, but I'm afraid of leaving. I have forgotten my value. Then there are many opportunities out there waiting for me, but I don't want to leave because I don't feel good enough. Then the more you love yourself, the more you see your value, the more you are able to negotiate for better circumstances, for a higher salary, or to find a place where you really belong. And the same in terms of relationships. The more you love yourself, the less needy you are. You don't establish relationships just in order to be with someone or not to be alone. You choose the people you want to share your life with. You are able to be more kind, more understanding, and more compassionate with others because you have practiced with yourself. Then you know that really everything starts and ends within you, because the more you love yourself, the bigger is your heart to include others. Then it really affects every area of your life, financially, organizationally, in terms of health, and again, the more connected you are, the more you are in a state of flow with the universe, the more you feel that your life makes sense, the more fulfilled you will be.
Yeah. Maybe I want to talk about like some of the things that I feel like are kind of maybe modern problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, with social media being like such a big thing, like comparison to other people. What are some like tools for people to kind of protect themselves from like that, the side of them that's always like comparing themselves to other people?
Well, the only, you call it protection, but I say the only solution is really to grow the level of self-love. There is a moment where you arrive to a point where you think what you think of me is none of my business. Why? Because you can control the opinion that you have about yourself, but you cannot control the opinion that others have about you. This is out of your control totally. Then even if you try to be perfect, there are going to be people that are not going to like you. You cannot be everything for everyone. And we try to do that, me included. Mm-hmm. And when I was young, it was about advertising. Then it was not social media. It was like, oh, the magazines and the TV try to do that through advertising and know what the problem. Then they are not the devil. The problem is that we don't have a strong idea about who we are, that we have to get it from what is happening around. Then I don't have any kind of intention to spend my day looking at social media. It really doesn't fulfill me. But I understand that at a certain age, where your peer groups are the most important for creating this idea of who I am in the world, it can be a big problem. Then I will say, first, don't believe everything that you see out there, because it might not be true. And second, don't believe everything that your mind tells you, because it might not be true. Your mind is a record of the past, and it tends to repeat certain messages like an autopilot, like if it's a record. But you are not this voice. You are much bigger. You are much important. You are really special. And if you find these gifts inside of yourself, you will see that everyone has their own talents, and it doesn't matter what they are. The important is that you appreciate yourself for who you are, and not you being your worst enemy and putting yourself down because you think that you don't have what others have. Might be the body, the money, the position, the salary, whatever it is. Like, live your life on your own terms. And there is always room for improvement, I understand. But the improvement cannot be like feeling miserable because your life doesn't look like any other person that you are following. Like, be a little bit more kind and compassionate with yourself. Life is meant to be lived, not to be suffered. Then what can you do today to be a little bit happier? What can you do for yourself? Maybe you are the one that start posting things in social media that make others recognize that we all have bad days, that we all have our own little problems, that we don't feel right all the time. And give yourself the opportunity to be authentic. And I'm sure that you will connect with people more than if you just try to make your life perfect. There is no one that can be perfect. It doesn't exist such a thing as perfection. But if you are vulnerable and you just show yourself with your flaws included as you are, sure that you will get more attention than others, than really shine. But if you really knock, I don't know what is going to be behind.
Well, yeah, I think that because there's so much like curated perfection, a lot of people have grown like really tired of like everyone trying to be the same, trying to look a certain way, that there are definitely a lot of people that are seeking out people that are authentically themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah, if we can find out what does it mean, this thing of being authentically myself. You have, one of the things that I say, in order to love yourself, you have to know who you are. And that's where you have to invest. You cannot love something that you don't know. Like when you are with someone and it's a new partner or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, you ask questions. You want to know everything about this person because you are really interested. You want to know more. And we don't do this with ourselves. We take ourselves for granted. And it's important that we kind of have conversations with ourselves, like through journaling or any other method that you can find. And remember what is important for you. What are your dreams, your desires? Because to be authentic, you have to know how to be you. And who is you?
I think that I know for like myself, like when I was like a teenager, the draw to be liked, to like people please, was so strong that like I didn't know myself at all. Like I didn't even know like what I liked. I didn't like, I just, and if someone asked me something, I would just be like, you know, I would like say things that other people liked, you know, things like that, you know. And it was so bad at one point when I was a teenager that like I would go to like a restaurant and I wouldn't be able to like make a choice of something to order. And my grandma would have to be like, okay, choose between these two things. And then I would choose. Because I would just like be like, I don't know kind of thing. You know? And so like it really, I had to do a lot of like self-reflection and figure out like, well, what is it that I do like? What is it? Who am I? What do I want? And I'm sure I know that there's other people that are like that. And then, you know, certainly as like women become mothers and things like that, a lot of times they lose themselves in motherhood, and like that's like their whole identity is motherhood. And so, you know, it's then a process that they have to go through, you know, to
And thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's very important what you said. And I mean, I was born assertive, but even people that have clarity in what they want, we tend to sacrifice to get the love that we think that we want, that we deserve. Because if we are liked, if we behave in a good way, then it's going to be less trouble. Everything is going to be okay. We don't want to create turmoil. And we just want that things go smooth. Then we prefer to give up on these desires. Then step one is to find out what do I really want and why. why is important this for me. And another one is step 2, be able to express it. I remember there was one woman in this workshop, Fall in Love with Yourself. We tend to spend the 1 hour break for lunch and go together to a restaurant when the workshops were present. And she couldn't even ask for a plate or like some butter in a restaurant. She felt so embarrassed that, oh, like a poor waitress, that she's so busy and I cannot ask for that. And the 10 people that were there, we all put all our requests through her. And she started practicing. It's a matter of practicing. It's a matter of putting yourself in this spot. And at the end of the lunch, she was so proud of herself just for doing that, for being able to raise her voice, ask for what she needs or others need, and politely and very calm and nicely. But she was able to do that. Imagine in how many ways we can transform our lives. These are little details, things that we do all through our lives. As you said, I had to do a lot of reflection. I had to put myself through this process where I have to figure out what was important for me. And unless you invest in yourself, or you do your work, or you become mindful, or you register for sessions or do coaching, we don't take the time. We keep doing what we have been always doing. Then there is a lot of people that really deserve to give themselves the opportunity, as you said, to figure out what is important for them, what they want, to be able to express it, and to be able to continue doing that, because we change, we evolve, we transform ourselves, and this again is a process. It's learning by doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me, like, you talking about like the woman having to like order, like, like put all the requests, say those things out loud. It reminds me of like people who I've heard, like, people have like challenges where they are like, I'm gonna do something every day that someone will say no to, like, just because it's like that, just to like to be like, no will not break me, kind of thing.
Yeah, the fear of rejection is very important.
Yeah, definitely. That's a hard one for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and you remind me the big topic in self-love is also boundaries. We are not trained in that. We don't even know what is a boundary. We think that boundaries separate us and put distance between us, and that we have to set up boundaries to protect ourselves from others. But if you really need protection in a relationship, better abandon the relationship, because it's not for you. Boundaries are something that really help relationships to work. Because if I tell you where I come from and what I need and what I like and how do I feel when you act a certain way, you know where you are. You know how to treat me. You know how we can be happier together. And the same, I want to know exactly what is important for you. And what we do is, like, we allow others to go. They don't know that they are like breaking our boundaries, because we never say anything about it. And then we complain that you don't respect me, you don't treat me well, I don't accept this, but we never expressed this before. Then the other person might be surprised. Because let's say that I have a relationship with, and you and me are friends, and I don't mind to have a relationship where we can interrupt each other. And while you are talking, I enter in the conversation and I say something else, and you do the same for me. But maybe you are shy, maybe you are introverted. And if I do the same to you, you are going to shut up. You're not going to say anything. You're going to feel bad about that. You're going to feel disrespect. Then if this is something that usually in my life works, and I don't know about this, I can only see it through your reaction, but then it's late. But when you say, you are interrupting me all the time, and I don't feel I have the space to talk, then I can do something about it. I can love you differently. And you can be better, and we are not going to have a problem. Then boundaries are these things that we don't want to use because they feel so like important and difficult, like putting a wall between us, but that we have to learn how to express.
I think it's these days, like the term bound, like talking about boundaries it's talked about a lot more, but
Yeah.
there's so many people that still don't understand what it really means and how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we expect that love is this thing that works or it doesn't. Like, but it has to work on their own. And the other person has psychic powers and read my mind and knows what I want, how I'm going to be okay, and what do I need, and all of this. And that's not true. The other person doesn't have psychic powers. And sometimes love can work if you really establish like a ground of not rules, but things that are important for you. Mm-hmm. And even though you may set up boundaries, the other person may decide not to respect, but then it's about you to think, what are you going to do with the relationship? But that's very important in terms of self-love, because if you don't respect yourself, how do you want that others respect you? And then we go through life like sacrificing ourselves. When others take advantage of us, we blame them, like, oh, you cannot do this, you are taking me for granted. They say, you are the one that are taking you for granted. You are not educating others in the way that you want to be treated. You are showing that it doesn't matter for you, that someone asks you to work long hours, you say yes. Someone asks you to do things that you cannot do or you are too tired to do, you say yes. Mm-hmm. Someone asks you something that you really don't like seeing a violent movie, and you say yes. Then you say yes to them, but you say no to yourself. And that's, you're paying a price of saying no to yourself continuously, because then is this little voice inside of yourself in your heart that says, hello, I'm here, I exist, and I want to, you pay attention to me.
Yeah, definitely. I also want to talk about self-forgiveness, because I think that's also a difficult concept for people. I know for myself, like, even just like now with like having gone through therapy, like about like certain things, like there were just like actions and things that I did that weren't even that bad, that like I had like trouble forgiving myself for years, and I just held on to this thing, just because, like, something where I was just like, I wasn't a very good friend, kind of thing. So I guess, like, what are some ways, some tools that, help people to like be able to forgive themselves for just being humans?
Yeah, the beginning of forgiveness is permission to be human. Like, we take our mistakes so seriously, we get attached to them, we go around them like again and again and again. And we also tend to live in the past, because the mistakes that we made were made in the past. They are not in the present moment. And then we deny ourselves the opportunity to change, to become something different, because we get stuck in the same energy that created the mistake. Then we have a different idea. It's easier for us sometimes to forgive others than to forgive ourselves. That's how important self-love is, that we at least deserve to treat ourselves the way we treat others, at least. I would say that we should treat ourselves better, but but let's just say at least the same. Then in the workshop, what we do is to make a list of people and situations that we think that we have not forgotten or forgiven. And I tell people, and include yourself in the list, because sometimes we only see the mistakes that we made. And the big mistake is not to take it ourselves. You can learn from what happened and move on. Self-forgiveness, the only thing that means is like, I get it. I'll do differently if there is something to learn, because sometimes we feel guilty for things that we have not created even. And I'll do things differently next time. And I am able, because it's my conscious decision to forgive, to let go. and to move forward with my life. And that's the way you can disconnect from things. People think that forgive others, is just this thing that, oh, I need an apology if someone hurt me, or I need to have a conversation to clear things out. And it's not about that. Forgiveness is your 50%. Then you can repair something if you feel like you have done something wrong, someone. But the most important forgiveness is the part that you put, the really. And it's not that you are forgiving someone because you are a good person. Forgiveness is a way to set yourself free, to continue with your life, to disconnect from those events or relationship or whatever happened that you feel stuck, that you feel that was wrong, that something happened there. Then the same thing that it's about forgiving others apply to yourself. It's a conscious decision that no matter what had happened, you declare yourself free of that. If you feel the need to do something about the situation, it's good. And if not, your conscious decision is good enough. In the context of the Akashic records, we have a prayer to let go, to release, and to forgive. That it's very nice, it's very complete. It has three paragraphs. One, it's about if others hurt me, if I hurt someone, or if I hurt myself, no? And I can read it if you want.
Sure. Yeah.
You say, if there is anything or anyone or anything that has hurt me in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt anyone or anything in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt myself in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. The only thing that we are doing through saying these words is like putting the intention that this energy can be released, really, as an act of grace, like as divine grace coming through us. But forgiveness is not a matter that the time has to pass or I have to do something about it. It's a matter of deciding that you are going to really disconnect from this, and you do it by letting it go. Letting it go is the first step for forgiving. And there is another big tool, if you have heard about the Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian word. It's very interesting. If you Google it, it's all over the internet, and I become certified also in this. Yeah, I found it very interesting, but it's quite a big story behind, no? But I'm going to say that behind the Ho'oponopono, there are 4 words that say it with intention, have a vibration that helps people to forgive. But we are not only clearing what we have done or what others are doing to us. We believe that we are part of what created the situation for what others are also attacking us or hurting us. Then we become part of the solution instead of being part of the problem, instead of, oh, you wronged me and I'm angry. No, there must be something that I can do to send loving energy, and this can clear out the situation. Then again, this is a simplification of the whole thing. It's more complicated, but these 4 words are, or sentences, is like, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, I'm sorry. I said it wrong in order, no? But I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you.
That's nice, yeah. Before we go, because we're getting kind of close to the end of our conversation, I always like to ask people, how do you define fun?
Fun is something that makes your heart happy. Fun is something that we forget. One of the things that happens in this workshop that I mentioned about self-love is like people recognize that we become adults, so responsible, and we forget how to have fun. For those of you that have kids, it's easy because your kids will teach you what fun means. It's just to do things without a purpose, not to feel like you are obligated to do something. Fun is not something you do, it's something you feel inside. It's the passion to be in love with life, no matter what you are doing.
Yeah, I like that. I also like to ask people what their play personality is. According to the Institute of Play, there are 8 play personalities: the Joker, the artist or creator, the explorer, kinesthetic, competitor, storyteller, collector, and director.
Before the director, what you said?
Collector.
Collector. And what does it mean?
Well, it can be like collecting like items, or it could be like collecting like experiences, like someone that wants to go to like every continent maybe would be a collector, but also they might also be an explorer, kind of thing. But like, for example, I had a friend who was like the most classic collector I've ever known. And I don't know very many collectors, so this was like a big deal. But she was always like trying to find things from like her childhood, like on eBay and things like that, you know. Yeah. So
I think that when I was a kid, I was definitely a collector in that sense. It made me happy. I still collect a lot of things, but I feel like I'm into the explorer. And I don't know if the kinesthetic is about beauty and connect with the things also. Then I feel a little bit myself there. Then to choose one is really difficult. Yeah, are we a
oh yeah, you
mix?
can be more than one. I
Yeah,
consider myself 3. So
yeah. Then the collector I was, maybe the explorer now. I like to discover things. And maybe the kinesthetic. I
yeah,
don't know. That's
yeah.
difficult.
Like the things being really like physical and yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's normal to
I
be
love
more
the
than one.
pleasure. Yeah,
Huh?
I love the pleasure. I love the pleasure of life. I love to visit museums and art and food and wine and all of these things, no, that really connects us with the senses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the thing on its own; it's the experience of the thing, no.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean.
definitely. Yeah. I also am a person that just I love traveling and exploring also. Like explore is definitely one of my favorite uh the ways I like to engage with the world. Um where what has been like some of your favorite vacations, like places you've gone?
Well, with my ex-husband, we tend to travel to have some culture and then to go and dive. We love to dive. Then, for example, when we went to Egypt, that was a trip that a cruise on the Nile, and then visit Cairo, and then we went to the Red Sea. That it's the best place where I have dived ever in my life. That was amazing. That was really amazing. And I remember also a place that I recommend everyone to really see before they die is the Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. They belong to Ecuador. Yeah, then the nature there, to walk around these birds and to see the sea lions and swimming with you and the iguanas and these big turtles and all of this, and it was just incredible, really incredible. But everything for me, that it's a big city that has opportunities to see cultural things, is gonna make myself so happy to be able to discover. I love to discover different cultures, different countries. And I remember in our honeymoon, we took the car and we started driving towards the castles of the Rhine in Germany. And we crossed through France and from Relais Chateau to Relais Chateau and very nice areas. We had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time just seeing different countries and really exploring. And
Oh, one more question. where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't make plans so long term right now,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth. There was another moment in my life where, yeah, I was all like looking into the future and going ahead. Now I'm going more like in tune with life, go with the flow. That doesn't mean that I don't have ideas about where I want to be. Of course, I want to publish books and speak more oftenly and all of this, but I'll go wherever life takes me. And it's not that I don't put intention. It's more being aligned with life and allow the guidance to come through you and seeing where you are needed and for what reason and what is happening. Also, my family, my parents are in Spain. They are getting older. And we'll see. What I can tell you is that in 5 years, I expect the best.
Yeah. Just keep growing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why we are here, no? To love and to learn how to love and to be loved. And then what opportunities are presented in that realm for me? That's what really interests me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where can the audience find you?
Well, the easy way is to go to my website, judithmcosta.com. There they have links to all social media. I'm everywhere. And a contact form that has my email and the telephone number. You can shoot me an email, whatever it is, and it contains all the information about workshops and private sessions and everything they can do with me. But just let's talk. Tell me how I can help you. I will be happy to.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much for being on. Thanks for coming back because last week didn't work so well.
Oh, no, thank you so much for the opportunity. It has been a pleasure. We can talk for another hour if you want. No problem.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I'm like we could like keep going, but just generally I try to keep the episodes to an hour. So, but I mean,
no, I really appreciate it. It has been great, and thank you so much.
yeah,
And thank you everyone that is listening. It's gonna listen in the future. I love you.
Yeah.